first grade. I'm sitting all comfy in the beanbag chair. I was feeling a little lonely today, so I thought maybe I'll just start my teaching video today for Wednesday in the beanbag. What do you think? I think it could be pretty fun. Well, you know, I'm going to have to get up from the beanbag because at the very end of this video, we have our first science experiment Wednesday. I know we've been having fun doing science and other things like in our reading class, but every Wednesday from now through the end of school, I am going to show you a science experiment that you can also do at home. So it's just for fun. You don't have to do it, but if you want to, watch to the end and you'll be able to see that. Okay, are you ready for a knock-knock joke? Here we go. Here's my first knock-knock joke. Now, are you going to remember to do your part when we do a knock-knock joke? Okay, here we go. Knock-knock, and you say, who's there? Knows. Knows who? I knows a lot of other knock-knock jokes if you want me to tell them to you. I knows, I know. Okay, here we go. One more. Knock-knock. Who's there? Bacon. Bacon who? I'm baking a cake for your birthday. Oh, that's so much fun. I had some cake for my birthday and the most delicious cupcakes, and then I had cookies. Oh, my word, I've had a lot of bacon my cakes. It's been wonderful. And speaking of my birthday, look, my pictures today are some of our friends who were able to come to my birthday celebration. Eliza, I love your car. This just cracks me up. It's so much fun. Look at it. It kind of looks like it has eyes, and if you look real close, you can even see eyelashes on it. So fun. You guys, that was one of my very favorite things ever. Like, I will remember it forever. I just loved it so much. Here's Miss Kaylee and her mom. There, can you see Kaylee inside the car? She's decorating her car. I just have a couple. These are from Mrs. Ferrara gave them to me. Oh, look at who's sticking outside of his sunroof. There's Mr. Liam. Isn't that so much fun? Oh, and there's Annabelle. Look at that great sign. I got so many fantastic signs hanging in my house right now. It's so much fun. I love them. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much. I just love them. Okay, we're going to talk a tiny bit about poetry, but I want to talk first about this. Do you guys recognize this? We've talked about it just once or twice in first grade. But do you remember what this symbol is? Can anybody remember? Let's say it. It's a schwa. Isn't that fun to say? What do your lips and your cheeks do when you say that? Schwa. Try it. Make your lips be all funny. Schwa. Yes, a schwa. This is a schwa A, and it's making a what sound? Banana. It's making a short U sound, right? So we see schwas. They actually sometimes make other vowel sounds, but usually what you're going to see is them making the U sound, the short U sound, like in banana. And today, in particular, in your reading of poetry, I want you to keep an eye out for some words that have the short U sound on a vowel that isn't a U, the schwa sound. So let me show you an example. Okay, look right here. My thing got erased a little bit, but banana, that A is how you spell banana, but it's making a short U sound. So if I was coding that, which I'm not going to make you do, but if I was coding that, I would have a short, a schwa sound at the top. If we were coding at home, or excuse me, if we were coding at school in reading class, then I would have you do that. If you want to at home, you can, but you don't have to, okay? Let me show you some examples of where I have seen the U sound for the schwa before. What's that first word? Correct. It's the word about. About. Do I say about? No. In the English language, we usually pronounce that about. What about camera? Do I say, hey, Mom, can I use your phone? Because I want to use your camera. Do I say camera? No. What about this? In my house, because we've been having lots of birthday parties for myself and my son, we have a lot of balloons in my house, balloons, but wait, do I call them balloons? Wait, where are the balloons? No, when I spell balloon, it has the word ball in it, but I don't pronounce it balloon. I pronounce it That A is making the short U sound, and it's a schwa. Let me give you some examples I want you to look for today. In your poems, one of your poems you're going to read is called Just Me. Guess what that first word is? Let's try it. Nobody. 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 Nobody has that short, that schwa sound. What about this? Do I call my brother brother? Hey, brother, are you coming over here with me? No, I don't call my brother. I call him other. That O is making a schwa sound. So if I was going to code it, again, you don't have to today, but if I was going to code it, I'd code it with that. Remember how it looks kind of like an upside down E? That schwa symbol. Okay, we are reading a poem called Just Me today. And so talking about me, it's actually talking about you. We're going to do a bio poem today. It's really an autobiography poem because it's about you. And you're going to see something like this. It's a planning page. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to have to think about these, but I bet you can come up with great ones. So what you do, this is an 11-line poem. A bio poem is always 11 lines. It starts with your first name and it ends with your last name, right? So my first name is just after the month, and there's my last name. And then you're going to write some words that describe you. So is my poem about you? No, my poem's about me. Okay, here we go. So 3 words that describe you. I said I'm outgoing, which means I like to talk to people. I'm silly and I'm honest. That's 3 words that describe me. But what could you say? You're smart, you're funny, you're happy, you're, I can't think of another word right now. You're silly also. So think of some words that describe you. And if you can't think of a word, I bet if you ask your family, they can describe you. I'm the lover of, something I love is the beach. I'm able to teach. What's something you're able to do? Are you able to go on the monkey bars and go around in a circle like Berea and Kaylee and be able to do that, to spin all the way? Remember, it's okay if you can use a word here. If you want to use a phrase, that's okay too. Who needs coffee? What do you think you need every day? If you got up and you said, Mom, I need. Now, is coffee really a need? No, it's a want when we studied wants and needs in social studies. But I feel like I need coffee, right? Who gives hugs, who feels happy, who dreams of Disneyland, who fears, what do I fear? Cockroaches, you guys already know that. Who would like to shop? I love this one for what you'd like to do. Think about the things that you can't do right now. There's some things we can't do. Who would like to go on the monkey bars at the park, right? Who would like to go to the movies, right? So think about what you would like to do there. And then I finish it, and then you have a page that looks like this. I did mine in many colors. You don't have to, but you can. So let me show you. There's my name. I wrote my name in the same color. And then there's my words that right from that planning page, okay? Outgoing, silly, honest, beach, teach, coffee, hugs, Disneyland, cockroaches, happy, shop. Now, if you want to put the phrase there, loves the beach, able to teach, needs coffee, you can put the phrase there too, okay? And I even made a mistake and I didn't have an extra one at my house, so you can do the same thing if you did. Look at my last one says, see that red one? It says happy. Well, actually, who feels happy is up here. I accidentally skipped it when I was writing it. So if you do that, just put it in your poem still, okay? The other kind of poem we're going to talk about today, well, guess what I have? I'm not actually going to read this book right now. Guess what I have? But if you have it at home, maybe you guys can read it, and maybe you can read it to somebody, or you can get moms or dads or somebody. Get somebody to read it to you. It's super fun. If not, you could maybe even see if it's on YouTube and you can watch it. Okay, but there's one page we love in this book that I want to show you when we're talking about something called onomatopoeia. Isn't that a fun word to say? Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. It's so much fun to say. Onomatopoeia is actually when we write words that are sounds. So let me give you an example, and you're going to read a poem like that today called Clatter. Okay, you know how this has this funny page? Oh no, oh no, oh no, here it comes. You know that funny page? Here it goes. You know what's going to happen. Oh, look at all those. Glurp, brog, bongy, gloppity, glippity, bangity, blangity, glurp, wacko, god. Like I'm jumping all over the place. But here's what I want to show you. That glurp is a sound. It's actually glurp is kind of a funny sound, but you might say gulp, like, right, if I'm gulping something. But if I was writing that in words, if I said, oh, he said his voice made a glurping sound, right? I would write glurp, and that would be the onomatopoeia word. So think about it. If I wrote the chicken says ba, does the chicken say ba? That is the onomatopoeia word. If I said they clapped and it went clap, 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 that sound, if I was writing it in words, those would be called onomatopoeia. Let me give you an example. Do you guys like the 4th of July? So when Dylan was little, he loved the 4th of July, but he loved all the fun parts, the picnics, and we have to go to the beach, all those things. But he didn't love the fireworks because he thought the boom sound was too loud. So if I wrote boom, that would be my onomatopoeia word. So here's one that Shel Silverstein, remember one of my favorite poets. And you know what, I saw these, by the way, on a side note. I saw these books at Costco when I was there yesterday. So if you're looking for them, they do have them at Costco. Look at when this one is called the 4th. It says, oh crash, oh bash, it's bang, the zang, 4th, whoosh, of Baroom, July, phew. So when it says boom, crash, bang, those are all onomatopoeia words. So see if you can find those today in your reading of your poetry. Okay, this week we have been talking about Saul, who becomes Paul, and we've been talking about how he meets Jesus on the Damascus Road. Not in person, but Jesus talks to him in a light and actually blinds him for 3 days, and then he has to go see Ananias. I think I called him Ananiah in our Monday video, but it's got an S on the end, Ananias. And Ananias, who's afraid, but he does what God wants him to do even though he's afraid. So we're going to learn a little bit more about Paul today. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about somebody that Paul helps teach to be a missionary. He already knows about Jesus from his family. And we're going to learn how even though he was young, God used him in big ways too. But let's talk about Paul for a little bit more. And then don't forget, after story time, hold on for our science experiment, okay? Okay, this is, you know how much I love the Adventure Bible books. This is Paul Meets Jesus. Of course, it's by Zonder Kids, but the pictures or the illustrations are by David Miles, okay? Saul was angry. Not long ago, a man named Jesus went all over the land teaching about God. Jesus told people he was the Son of God. Jesus was gone now, but he still had many followers. Saul did not like this. Saul actually wanted to hurt the followers of Jesus. Saul said the followers of Jesus should be thrown in jail. They are wrong. Jesus is not the Son of God. Saul did everything he could to get Jesus' followers in trouble. Oh dear. One day, Saul was walking down the road. He was on his way to a city where followers of Jesus lived. He wanted to arrest them. A bright light flashed from heaven. Saul fell to the ground. He was scared. Saul heard a voice say, Saul, why are you trying to hurt me? Saul covered his head. He said, who are you? The voice said, I am Jesus. Now get up and go into the city. You will be told what to do next. There were some men traveling with Saul. They did not know what to say. They heard the voice, but they did not see anyone. Saul got up. When he opened his eyes, he could not see anything. He was blind. His friends led him into the city. Saul was blind for 3 days. He did not eat or drink anything. A man named Ananias lived in the city. He loved Jesus. One day God spoke to Ananias and said, find a man named Saul. He is blind. Put your hands on him. Then he will be able to see. Ananias was afraid. He said, God, I have heard about Saul. He is a bad man. He tries to hurt Jesus' followers. But God said, go. I choose this man. I will use Saul to tell people all over the world about me. Ananias found Saul. He placed his hands on Saul and said, brother, Jesus has sent me so that you may see again. Be filled with the Holy Spirit. Right away, Saul could see again. He got up and Ananias baptized him. How does Saul look over here? What does he look like? I wonder if Saul was going to write a poem right now, what he would say. I think his feelings would be pretty happy, right? And then watch, look at his name tag. I'll show you real close. Saul was a new person. He changed his name to Paul. He believed that Jesus was God. Paul began to teach about Jesus. Everyone said, "Isn't this the man who used to cause trouble for Jesus' followers?" But Saul didn't stop teaching. Look at what did his name change to? To Paul. We actually see his name a lot when you look at the beginning of a book of the Bible in the New Testament, and it tells who wrote the book. Often, about half of them were written by Paul, remember? Soon Paul started to travel. Sometimes he traveled with others, and sometimes he went by himself. Paul told everyone he met the good news about Jesus. In some places, Paul was chased away, but Paul did not give up. In one city, there was a man who could not walk. He listened to every word Paul said. Paul saw the lame man had faith. Paul said, "Stand up." The man jumped up and began to walk. The people were amazed. Another time, Paul and his friend Silas were thrown in jail. God sent an earthquake. The prison doors flew open. Their chains fell off. The jailer was so amazed, he asked Paul, "What must I do to be saved?" Paul also wrote letters. He sent them to churches. We read those letters. The letters told people about the love of Jesus. What did Paul want everybody to know? That Jesus loves you. Okay, I thought that was the very end. There was another page. I'm so sorry. God changed Paul's life. Paul became a good man. Paul preached. He helped many people. Paul never stopped telling people about the love of God. Okay, I think that was really the last page. Okay, I was one page off. Isn't that so cool? Paul's life changes when he meets Jesus. First grade, our life and everybody's life will change when they meet Jesus and they ask Jesus to come into their heart and change them and live in their hearts forever. I hope that if the Holy Spirit is talking to you and you're feeling like you want to ask Jesus into your heart, I hope that you will be like Paul and you will stop and pray, just like we have before in class. And then you will stop and pray and ask Jesus to come into your heart. Okay, first grade, I want you to do your very best work at school today. I want you to do your best reading. I want you to look for onomatopoeia words. I want you to look for the schwa sound. So it doesn't always have to be on an A. Today, you're going to happen to see it on some O's. So I want you to look for that schwa sound. And first grade, I'm going to ask you to hold tight for just a second. And let's see what fun science experiment I have coming. And then maybe see if it's something you want to do at home because it's so cool, because science is so cool. Okay, bye. I'll talk to you later. Love ya.
Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. You remember how I just told you we're going to do a video every Wednesday with a science experiment that you can do at home. So it's always going to be something that you should have those materials probably around your house. We've been doing science great so far in our distance learning. You guys have been learning about plants and parts of plants, and we did our science experiment with our white flowers and our lima beans. So much fun. And you've been doing social studies also by learning about Earth Day and how you can reduce, reuse, and recycle. But I wanted to give you some fun hands-on science experiments because you know how much I love those. I know you still remember about our blubber science experiment this year and so many other awesome ones. So I just wanted to show you something that you can do. It's only for fun. You don't have to do it, but it's super fun. So every Wednesday, I'll post a little video in our teaching video that shows you a science experiment. Let me show you what materials you need for this. So I have 2 plates. This plate doesn't really matter, but this plate, it's gonna be important. See how it has a little lip in it? And I'll show you why in just a minute, why that's gonna be important. I have milk. We're gonna use whole milk because it works a little bit better in this experiment. Other milk will work, but this one is the best, and I'll show you why. I just have my dish soap that came right from underneath my sink. I have 3 colors of food coloring like you might use in baking, and I have a couple Q-tips. Okay, so here's what you do first. You're just gonna take this milk and you're gonna just pour a little bit of it onto the plate, see? So do you see how I just have some milk? Oh, I spilled it. Well, that sometimes happens, that's okay. But do you see how I have milk just in my plate right here? Now I'm gonna take my food coloring one at a time, and I'm just gonna put about 3 drops in. I'm not gonna mix the drops. I'm just gonna kind of put them kind of close together. You can see there's my blue, here's my green, And then even though this looks like pink, it's actually red. I'm using all primary colors today. Okay, you can see that nothing's happening. They're just sitting there. They kind of went into the milk. I'm gonna take a Q-tip and I'm not gonna mix them. So this is a clean, ooh, I just about dropped it. This is a clean Q-tip. I just got it out. It's not dirty, nothing is on it. And I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna just kind of put it between my colors like this, just a little bit. You can see it's kind of absorbing some of my colors, especially that red. But I'm kind of just making a little spot there for it. I'm gonna put this on the side because food coloring does stain, so I don't want it to get on anything. Now I'm gonna take this is my dish soap. This is just normal dish soap. I just have the extra plate because it's not as messy. You could just put it right onto the Q-tip. I think it's a little bit simpler if you put it on a different plate. So now I'm gonna take a different Q-tip. I could use the other end, but I don't want it. You can see I get red on myself if I do that. So I'm going to just put some of that dish soap right on the end of my Q-tip. Okay, now I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna hold it right where I put that other Q-tip for about 10 seconds, okay? Ready? Here we go. Whoa! What just happened? So cool. Isn't science awesome? Okay, ready? Oh, it's still going. Let me tell you what's happening. Let me show it. Well, I'll tell you while I show you. I'm just gonna I'll use a clean one. I'm gonna just get another clean one instead of using the other side. What's happening is there's fat inside this milk, right? Because milk has fat in it. So when the soap goes into the milk, oh, there it goes. When the soap goes into the milk, the fat particles in the milk are moving because of the soap, and they're moving quicker than the water particles. And so, look what happens. Isn't that so cool? It's making the surface area of the milk change because of the way the soap particles and the milk fat react together. So awesome. Well, first grade, I hope that you enjoyed this video and a fun science experiment because science is awesome. Have a great time doing some cool science, and I'll see you soon.